Another thing I did see is, did you watch any of the Biden classified document probe today with Robert Hur speaking? Well, there's a couple of clips I want to play from it, because the Democrats did a really good job today, took advantage of not just grilling this guy, but they also did a good job of really railing on a specific person that, again, they did a great job. The first one we're going to play is Eric Swalwell did a phenomenal job of pointing out, because if you remember correctly, in this report, Robert Hur wrote a synopsis or whatever of the report and basically said that Joe Biden didn't do anything wrong, but we really can't prosecute him because people are just going to look at him as an old man who does not have the capacity or the ability to think correctly, in that vein, and it was obviously a pointed effort to make Joe Biden look like he's senile and he doesn't know what he's doing. And of course, the sad part is that got all the news, but what happened today will be page 6, and most people won't hear about it. And part of that too is because you'll hear about it on the CNNs and the MSNBCs, but you heard about the original report on the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the Fox News, the Newsmax, the podcast. You heard it all over the place. The podcasts and the Fox News and the Newsmax, they're not going to play this shit today unless they had one of their jerk-offs like Jim Jordan say something that they thought was awesome. Other than that, but this is Eric Swalwell using his time to point out that Joe Biden might not be the one that is in cognitive decline.
In your report, though, is that correct? The word photographic?
That does not appear in my report.
I now want to show you and play a video of what is absolutely not photographic.
In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, gutless coward.
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
And I watch our police and our firemen down in 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. This is the very definition of totalitarianism.
And let me begin by wishing you a beautiful, look, you remember this? Do you remember?
God bless the United States. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving
I'm the gentleman.
the whales.
They're trying to stop it.
And I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the
Fantastic. Love that. And more of that should be shown all over the place, because
Biden needs to do his ads. I mean, they got I think they just $30 million for ads or something like that. I forgot, I wrote it down, but they're ready. They're coming. It should make us feel really good.
Well, you know what else is it's going to be interesting to see the response ads, because it looks like there's a new leader of the RNC, and it is Laura Trump, Eric Trump's wife, who has zero experience in any of this. In fact, this is the same woman who stole from their own children's charity.
Congratulations, Laura.
And now she's in charge of all the money.
Love it.
Me too.
Yeah, love it. And
none of it's
right. Republicans were upset, right?
Well, of course.
Then they drew up some type of motion for whatever, basically saying none of the money is going to be used for Trump. But the motion was never, I don't know what the word is, solidified or whatever. Like, it was never heard. It was just drawn up and it went nowhere.
Yeah.
They are going to use that money. She already said it. She didn't lie. What do you think? Trump's just going to have money sitting there and he's not going to use it for his lawyers? Come on.
Well, you know what else they're not going to use it for? A lot of this money, first of all, the RNC money is supposed to go not just to the presidential candidate, but to all the candidates running across the country. And those candidates are being like, what the fuck?
Yes.
What's going on here?
Yeah, get nothing. That's what the fuck. unless you are totally MAGA, he may toss you a bone.
Yeah.
If you like Carrie Lake, she may get a little something.
Yeah,
But
right. You're going to have some of the top 1% of the MAGA candidates that may get something, but the rest of them, they're in trouble, and especially in a House that is very thin. And in fact, who was the congressman? Who?
Buck.
Yes, yeah, Buck is retiring. So now we're getting even thinner in the House. So
it is two.
Yeah.
Two-seat majority right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So so Eric Swalwell wasn't the only one. Ted Lieu also took the opportunity with some great questioning here of Robert Hur to not only defend the president, but to embarrass the person who 100% should be shamed for the rest of his life.
That there are, quote, material distinctions, end quote, between President Biden's case and Mr. Trump's case. So here's my first question. In your investigation, did you find that President Biden directed his lawyer to lie to the FBI?
We identified no such evidence.
Did you find that President Biden directed his lawyer to destroy classified documents?
No.
Did you find that President Biden directed his personal assistant to move boxes of documents to hide them from the FBI?
No.
Did you find that President Biden directed his personal assistant to delete security camera footage after the FBI asked for that footage?
No.
Did you find that President Biden showed a classified map related to an ongoing military operation to a campaign aide who did not have clearance?
No.
Did you find that President Biden engaged in a conspiracy to obstruct justice?
No.
Did you find that President Biden engaged in a scheme to conceal?
No.
Each of the activities I just laid out describe what Donald Trump did in his willful mishandling of classified information and his criminal efforts to deceive the FBI. In contrast, President Biden handed over documents without delay and complied fully with investigators.
Great job there doing that. Now, side note, just thinking about this, this is where this year could get really, really frustrating. And at the end of the day, I think we all agree that the way we're going to have to beat Donald Trump, which is fine, and that's the way it should be. But first of all, no, it shouldn't be, because Donald Trump should never, ever be allowed to run for the president of the United States of this country ever again. It is fucking insane that he can. But
how can he even be allowed to get security briefings if he has a trial that's outstanding on whether or not he shared classified documents?
Well, that's the question. And, there is talk about how they're going to handle that. I think they're going to treat him like the child that he is and probably hand him something that means nothing, but make him think that, it does, because he's very simple. He's, and again, make no mistake, this is not anything I'm saying that is shocking or anything that's new, but Donald Trump is a fucking moron. None of it is his idea. None of it comes from his head, doesn't come from his big brain. It doesn't come from anywhere other than people who make him feel like he's the greatest person of all time. And they just shove these ideas in his head. And he's like, sure, let's do it. And, he thinks he's in control, but he's in control of none of this. Absolutely none of it. But they make him think that he is, because it's very easy to trick his small little brain.
Yeah.
Sad. So what I was going to say is, what I'm concerned about is that we may not be seeing any of these trials before the election at this point, other than the one in New York. They can't stop that one. But the classified documents case, which Judge Cannon is in control of, she appears to be doing everything she can to delay this case. And it looks like, the way she's going to do it, I think they're also trying to figure out, okay, when are we going to do the January 6th case? They're waiting first for the documents case to see when they're going to schedule that. And the idea is that they're going to schedule it at a time, and then Donald Trump's team's going to come in and say, hey, we need more time. And Judge Cannon's going to allow that time, which is going to delay the January 6th case even further. Of course, we got the mess that's going on in Atlanta, which should never be happening. And, so there could be a delay in that case after the election, which, this is just par for the course for Donald Trump. Somehow throughout his whole fucking life, this guy has literally fallen forward somehow and just gotten away with his bullshit.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Hi, Kiana. Bye, Mom. Bye, Kiana.
Hi, Kiana.
Love you.
Kiana's not watching. Tell her to get on right now and like and subscribe.
Oh, Pharaoh. Sorry. How you feeling?
Oh.
This is my co-host when you're not around.
Who is this?
Pharaoh.
Hi, Pharaoh.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Did you like and subscribe to the show?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
She's on it.
We talk about Donald Trump all the time.
Aw. Was she in one of your videos before?
Him. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
him, was he? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Pharaoh.
Enjoy your show. You guys are so intellectual.
I agree. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Family is always more important.
Sometimes my son's running around here talking about Trump 2024.
He better stop that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's messing with you, right?
That's not even funny. No, because we've already voted.
Oh, okay.
So,
perfect.
That's done.
Primary. Right, well, not for the general election. So
no, primary.
All right. But anyway, there is a concern that we won't get maybe any of these trials in.
Right.
But there is still a possibility that these trials could be starting before the election, which I think would be important as well.
Right. Hopefully, well, definitely right. The 25th. So, and there's 24 counts with that one that he.
The one coming up?
Yeah.
31. 31.
Yeah, so we just need one. It's not gonna.
Might even be 34.
Yeah. I think Biden peeled off some folks. We know he did, right? Because we saw post primaries in different states where those people are like, no way am I voting for Donald Trump.
Correct.
Absolutely not. So we saw that. Then we know that he solidified definitely the Democrats after the State of the Union.
Yep.
And he probably peeled off some more.
Yep.
So that's really good. That trial, this Bragg trial, is going to get more independents on Biden's side. He's not going to win anyone. At this point, he's not winning any more people on his side. The only thing that could happen is these goddamn people get on the ballot, right? Those independents, is that still?
I mean, it doesn't seem as likely as it did at one point.
Right.
I still think there's an RFK Jr. thing,
right.
But the idea is that they think that he might peel more Trump voters than he would Biden voters because he's the anti-vax guy. And in fact, this fucking idiot just announced today that possible vice presidential candidates for him would be the cracked out quarterback for the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, who goes onto these shows and does I mean, what are we doing here? This is just so stupid. It's just not, it almost makes somebody like me and maybe you, it's like, do we even want to be involved in this anymore? But we have to be involved. We have to.
I know.
Can't get out of it. Just can't. Final clip on the hearing today was her name is Madeline Dean of Pennsylvania. So she got to the crux of it about how when in that report it came out that Joe Biden couldn't even remember his son's death, the day of his death. Well, it turns out when you read the transcripts, that was an absolute lie. That was not even true, and she calls him out here for that.
Since the transcript is out, to correct the record on an important point. Very sadly, your report on page 208 says that Mr. Biden couldn't come up with the date, the year of his son, Beau Biden's death, when in fact,
damn it,
in the transcript, it shows that you asked him the month. And do you know what he said, Mr. Hur? He said, oh God, May 30th. Would you like to correct the record? His memory was pretty firm on the month and the day.
Congresswoman, I don't believe that's correct with respect to the transcript, but if you could refer me to a specific page, I'd be happy to look.
And my second document, to clarify for you, sir, Mr. Hur, from the transcription, page 82, the words are President Biden's. What month did Beau die? Oh, God, May 30th. A searing memory. I ask unanimous consent.
Without objection.
So that was good that she called him out, you know. And again, I think it's good that she calls him out, but I think the problem is that you're only going to see half the people. Half the people are going to actually see this, as opposed to almost all the people who saw the original report.
Right.
But again, the good news is the people who are not going to see it are not voting for Joe Biden anyway.
Correct. Right.
So, you know,
right,
got something there.
Right. And no one's going to go over to his side anymore. Like, we already know, like, he's just done. And we're not even taking into account, I keep having to say, the millions of people died of COVID.
Yeah.
Trump killed his supporters.
Yes.
And if he's not gaining any, where are they? Like, he killed a lot of his supporters.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
I didn't say killed. Okay, COVID killed them, but his mishandling.
I mean, you know, you're right. It was a mishandling of it. And, you know, the fact that some of the, I mean, you would have to think that some of the MAGA people, because there were reports and studies that clearly a lot of the majority of the people who were dying were the ones that were more in the red states, that were not, where they were anti-vaccine for some very strange, bizarre reason. Sadly, you would think that there would be a lot of family members that'd be a little pissed off about that, but
nope.
You know, there are some that don't give a shit. They're like, well, mom and pop died, but that's okay. We're still voting for Trump.
It was their time.
Yep, their time.
Were you talking about it? How was I talking to DA? Can you remember how Republicans were literally saying that when is your time? It's your time to the old people.
Yeah.
Like, they had just given up on them.
Who said that? It was one of the congressmen. I can't remember who it was, but he basically said that. He's like, well, you know, if it's your time, it's your time. That's what happens. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Very strange.
And we wonder why they treat the seniors the way they treat the seniors. It's just, I don't care.
I agree. Please like and subscribe to the show if you haven't already.